John Kiriakou, explain what it is that you were trying to expose. Explain what you were involved with. Talk about Abu Zubaydah, your involvement in the finding of him, and then the course you took, where your conscience took you.
Sure. In 2002, I was the chief of counterterrorism operations for the CIA in Pakistan. And my job was to try to locate al-Qaeda fighters or al-Qaeda leaders and capture them, to turn them over to the Justice Department and have them face trial. That was the original idea, not to have them sit in Cuba for the next decade. But we caught Abu Zubaydah. He was shot 3 times by Pakistani police as he was trying to escape from his safe house, and I was the first person to have custody of him, to sit with him. We spoke to each other extensively. I mean, talked about everything from September 11th to poetry that he had been writing, to his family, and then he was moved on to a secret prison after that. Once I got back to headquarters, I heard that he had been subject to harsh techniques, then euphemistically called enhanced interrogation techniques, and I was asked by one of the leaders in the CIA's counterterrorist center if I wanted to be trained in the use of these techniques. I told him that I had a moral problem with them, and I did not want to be involved. So fast forward to 2007. By then, Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International had reported that al-Qaeda prisoners had been tortured, and ABC News called and said that they had information that I had tortured Abu Zubaydah. I said that was absolutely untrue. I was the only person who was kind to Abu Zubaydah, and I had never tortured anybody. So they asked me to go on their show and defend myself. I did that, and in the course of the interview, I said that not only was the CIA torturing prisoners, but that it was official U.S. government policy. This was not the result of some rogue CIA officer just beating up a prisoner every once in a while. This was official policy that went all the way up to the President of the United States.
And so what happened after that in 2007, once you gave this interview? Can you explain what happened to you and to your family?
Sure. Within 24 hours, the CIA filed what's called a crimes report against me with the Justice Department, saying that I had revealed classified information, which was the torture program, and asking for an investigation with an eye toward prosecuting me. The Justice Department decided at the time that I had not revealed classified information, that the information was already in the public domain, but immediately, within weeks, I was audited by the IRS. I've been audited by the IRS every single year since giving that interview in 2007. But a more important bit of fallout from that interview was that every time I would write an op-ed, every time I would give a television interview or give a speech at a university, the CIA would file a crimes report against me, accusing me of leaking additional classified information. Each time, the Justice Department determined that I did not leak any classified information. In fact, I would get those op-eds and those speeches cleared by the CIA's Publications Review Board in advance. Then the CIA started harassing my wife, who at the time was a senior CIA officer, particularly over an op-ed I had written. They accused her of leaking classified information to me for the purpose of writing the op-ed. Well, I said I had gotten the information in the op-ed from 2 UPI reports and from a South American Ministry of Foreign Affairs website, and they would back off. But this sort of became our life. We would be under FBI surveillance. She would be called into the CIA's Office of Security. I would have trouble getting a security clearance when I went to Capitol Hill. It just became this pattern of harassment.
So, John, why didn't you stop?
Because I think that torture is something that needs to be discussed. I said this in 2007. This is something that about which we should be having a national debate. And frankly, I have a First Amendment right to free speech. And, you know, writing an op-ed is not against the law. Giving a speech about the Arab Spring or about torture is not against the law. And I felt that I didn't want to be cowed. I didn't want to be frightened into silence by the CIA.
Thanks so much for watching this report from Democracy Now!, your daily independent global news hour. We don't accept advertising or corporate funding, but rather rely on donations from viewers like you. Please make your contribution by visiting democracynow.org. We need your support today to keep bringing you this hard-hitting, in-depth reporting.